as good as Game 3 was right here for the Heat, that's how bad Game 4 was. It was an atrocious first half, specifically that first quarter. However, the good news is that this is still tied 2-2 going back to Miami for Game 5 with 2 home games left to play. So a 7-game series now down to a 3-game series. First quarter, all Celtics. Max Strus on the turnover. Jason Tatum on the other end. He trailed by 18 after 1, and you see UD giving the Heat an earful on the bench. Second quarter, Victor Oladipo trying to keep the team in it, but Miami was down 24 at the break. Third quarter, Boston putting this one away. Jaylen Brown gets the bank shot in transition. It was that kind of night, everybody. Heat fall by 20. It is now 2-2, shifting back to Miami for Game 5 on Wednesday night. So luckily, there's still 2 home games left out of 3. Home court advantage is so important. That's what the Heat have over this Celtics team. Hopefully Tyler Hero can get healthy. He was unavailable for this game, dealing with a groin injury. Hopefully Jimmy Butler can get some rest. He hasn't looked like himself, just hasn't had the same lift. The same with PJ Tucker, who's battling through a knee injury. We will hear from the players coming up a little bit later. Most importantly, it is even 2-2 going to Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals on Wednesday. We're going to wrap things up in a little bit here from Boston, because we're coming back to Miami, everybody. Live at TD Garden, Josh Moser, 7 News.
Time now for 7 Sports with Josh Moser.
Hi, everybody. Welcome out live to Boston and TD Garden. I'm Josh Moser. Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Very frustrating for the Miami Heat. They could never find their rhythm. This was never a game, and the Celtics putting this one away early. The series will now shift back to Miami, tied 2-2 for Game 5. In case you missed it, you're going to want to forget this one anyway. First quarter, Miami ice cold to start, missed their first 14 shots. Jason Tatum rebound. He'll go coast to coast. Heat down 18 after 1. Second quarter, Victor Oladipo trying to keep Miami in it. Pretty jumper goes, but the Heat trail by 24 at the break. Let's go third quarter. Boston putting this one away. Tatum having a night. How about 31 for the Celtics star? Then later in the frame, we're going to see Boston in transition. They were deadly with this evening. Jaylen Brown, this was never a contest. Heat fall 102-82 in Game 4. Eastern Conference Finals is now tied 2-2, heading back to Miami for Game 5.
We're not making any excuses. They outplayed us tonight for sure. We never could get any kind of grip on the game. Outside of these like crazy runs, you have 2 really competitive teams. You know, the scores and that kind of thing doesn't really give the true indication of how competitive, it is.
The Heat are going to stay here tonight. They will fly back to Miami to try to get treatment, get some of these players healthy. They have a very busy training room with a lot of guys dealing with injury. Remember, Tyler Hero did not play tonight. Hopefully he can play in Game 5, but we've got another team in the postseason. Our Mike DePasquale has been with the Panthers for their entire Stanley Cup playoff run. Mike, let's go to you in Tampa. How are you? Hi, everybody. Welcome out live to Boston and TD Garden for Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Heat and Celtics. Miami is expected to get star player Jimmy Butler back tonight. He had to leave Game 3 at halftime due to right knee inflammation. Here is the play in question about the injury. Celtics guard Peyton Pritchard on the ground going right at Butler's knee. Head coach Eric Spoelstra said he could not definitively explain that this is what caused Butler's knee to be aggravated, but it's very clear that the organization is unhappy about what occurred.
It was not a basketball play. We're not really sure why it was determined as that was a basketball play. The league doesn't have to do anything. We're not begging for SHIT. They can do whatever they want. But that has nothing to do with us trying to compete to get to a win.
I didn't see the play, so I agree with both.
I love Bam. One other quick injury note. Tyler Hero will not be available for the Heat tonight. He will miss his first game this postseason dealing with a groin injury. The Celtics know that they have to take advantage because going back to Miami down 3-1 facing an elimination game in Game 5 is very different than tying the series at 2-2.
They can't let it carry over. It's 2-1 right now. We play in front of our Garden fans to make it up 2-2. The best teams stick together through thick and thin, and they do their best job of understanding that the same thing can't beat you twice.
Point guard Marcus Smart is questionable for the Celtics. We have an 8:30 tip. Follow me on Twitter for updates leading up to tip-off. That'll do it here in Boston. Let's go over to Mike DePasquale in Sunrise. Hi, Mike.
Time now for 7 Sports with Josh Moser.
Welcome to Boston and inside TD Garden for Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Heat and the Celtics. Miami holding a 2-1 lead. But right now, health a major factor for both teams, and it may determine who advances to the NBA Finals because several key players are dealing with injuries. Specifically for the Heat, PJ Tucker is one of the guys that is battling through pain. Here's a look at him from shoot-around this morning. Tucker spending the full day trying to keep the swelling down in his legs and in his knees. And regardless of how he's feeling come 8:30 tip-off, he says he's lacing them up.
It's a new year, new situation, new series. Just try to help guys as much as possible throughout each game. You know, dealing with the emotion and everything that goes on with you guys and with all that happens in the game, and just trying to stay away from it all. Just play basketball and just try to keep that mindset each game.
Remember, Tyler Hero is out tonight with a groin injury. Hopefully it's Bam Adebayo, hoping to have a repeat performance at 31 in Game 3. Hopefully he can do it again tonight. That's your look at the Heat. Let's go now to Mike DePasquale for your look at the Panthers. Hi, Mike. Craig and Belkis, thank you so much. A lot of excitement from Heat Nation leading up to this game simply because of what happened in Game 3 and how the Heat were able to steal that one right on the road here at TD Garden. But tonight, a different story. Both teams battling injuries, specifically for the Heat. Their main players are going to gut their way through this. A win moves them 1 game away from the NBA Finals. The Heat, taking Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals on Boston's home floor, are now expecting to do the same tonight in Game 4, knowing the Celtics will throw everything at them to try to even the series 2-2.
I mean, we're on the road. That's the urgency right there. You know, they already tried to embarrass us on our home court. I mean, you know, they can score in bunches.
You know they're going to come out and give us everything they got early, so we got to be ready, not only just to prepare for that, but to give our own punch and go, you know, just as hard. So it's a focus.
Hopefully giving the Heat a big lift will be Jimmy Butler.
And Butler down the end, throws it down.
Miami star player will warm up with the intent to play after missing the second half of Game 3 due to right knee inflammation.
Guys want to, you know, make themselves available. This is the time of year everybody wants to play. You play through more things than you would than if it was a November game.
While Butler is expected to return, Tyler Hero will be sidelined. The reigning 6th man of the year injuring his groin in the 3rd quarter of Game 3. This is the first playoff game Boy Wonder will miss this postseason.
Obviously, this is a stage, you know, I wanted to play on, but, you know, one game, just want to be able to, you know, get some treatment, rest, and hopefully be back for the next one.
Next man up. We all got that mentality, and go out there and try to get the W.
Victor Oladipo is the name that you want to pay attention to tonight. He filled in for Jimmy Butler when he went out in Game 3. He should be expecting to get more minutes with both Hero out as well as everyone listed as questionable. So we will monitor the situation here very closely as the Heat begin to warm up. Again, it's an 8:30 tip-off. Hopefully everyone will be available, minus Tyler Hero, who's out with that groin injury. More at 6. For now, live at TD Garden in Boston. Josh Moser, 7 News.
Josh, we'll see you.
Hi, Len and Craig. Thanks so much. Yes, so much excitement ahead of this game just because the way that Game 3 ended for the Heat, the fans loving that. We've talked about how difficult it is to win games on the road, especially this late in the NBA playoffs. But going back to Miami for a pivotal Game 5 in the Eastern Conference Finals up 3-1 is very different than going back 2-2. The Heat looking to do that this evening.